Conscious. Many times we buy something and we're really driven by forces we aren't conscious of ourselves.
Because everyone has bad examples of the telemarketer who calls them at home when they're trying to eat their meal and tries to sell them something. We know about ways in which selling is cheating and lying and stealing. So these bad low-level experiences have given a bad reputation.
That gets repetitious, that gets boring, that's very static. The alternative is to go to narration and storytelling, where that brand becomes part of your life and you like to know what its history has been and where it is today.
If you start to sell a brick, it's very boring, it's a commodity, it's only worth $1. If instead you sell the dream of creating the perfect home for you and your partner and your family.
Research is now becoming ethnographic with cameras in the home, and so marketing research is also moving in another direction, which is getting at the emotions and the unconscious, waiting for new things to happen. And you're using metaphors, you're using events, you're distributing it through conversations on the internet, and before you know it, the brand becomes a story that you feel is almost personal.
Do I like them? Do I trust them? Do I believe in them? Do I love them? Because value is not a literal thing, it's not just money. It's an equation of money, performance, and something more than that, right? Something that is touching to your heart. Maybe it's something that does good for the environment, or you do something good for children, or it makes you just feel beautiful and terrific.
That market economics pay no attention to anything but price. They never modeled the effect of advertising and promotion. They never modeled the effect of sales force because they couldn't quantify it enough. And so there was a big gap in what I would call market economics.
In the past, a discipline like marketing, we had a lot of knowledge, we had a lot of measurement, things that were teachable. And because of that, we could mount programs to give people qualifications. But we produce marketing graduates because we have marketing knowledge that the academics can teach. It used to be, the business model was, you make a great product, and the product has tremendous value to the customer. All the value is in the product.
And before you know it, all products will have to become good, because bad products will be known instantly. And good is not good enough.
There are so many products and so much competition that your product isn't very different from a competitor's product. And so what has to happen now?
I'm beginning to think now that the stability that we associated with products is gone. And so if you try to base your business on a product that you think will last a long time, then I suspect you're likely to be in trouble.
Well, I think it's partly history. Usually, sales comes first. A small company, as it grows, has some salespeople, and one day somebody says, we need a brochure, we need to do some advertising. And marketing starts as a sales support function.
Because marketing definitely meant sales when it was first used. And then it started to mean more than promoting an existing product, it meant 4 Ps.
But very soon, marketing becomes interested in big things, segmentation. It becomes interested in branding. And these things are not very measurable, but very strategic.
By then, Philip Kotler, one of the founding fathers and author of the best pages in the marketing Bible, made a division in the history of the discipline, and starting with fundamentals such as the 4 Ps, every sort of thing in and around market and customers was given a name.
Was the second stage. The third stage was segmentation, targeting, and positioning. You're not dealing with a mass market anymore. It has pieces to it and segments, so you want to go after the right one. Up to now, we were only thinking of a transaction, but now we're in the relationship stage, which is to build not only good, loyal customers, but loyal partners.
First of all, you start with trust, you start with quality, you start with all the normal stuff you get taught at MBA school or Marketing 101 from Mr. Kotler, and then you infuse mystery, sensuality, and intimacy, and then you watch it become a love mark.
And the fifth stage is brand new, and that is companies are thinking about co-marketing with their customers. That is not just making something and seeing if they're interested, but having them help us make what they would be interested in.
Selling is much more about strategy, about planning, about understanding customers, and about being creative.
Understanding the customer well enough to know how the customer sees value.
Which means that salespeople today have to understand not just the products, they have to understand customers, the customer's business, the customer's finances.
I was satisfied with an expression to remind people what it really is, and I call it CCDVTP. So what is marketing? It is creating, communicating, and delivering value to a target market at a profit.
Marketing is being replaced by connectors. It was Steve Jobs at Apple that said creativity is just connecting stuff.
There are brands that are loved by people, and if that love affair is continued through various activities, events, and communications, and not through advertising and so on, then the brand strength can be preserved without the old mass advertising approach.
If you want to learn about how a lion hunts, you've got to go to the jungle, not to the zoo. If you want to learn about consumers, you've got to live with them, not put them in focus groups, and not spend time in internal meetings.
Say that they should have a love of the battle place where decisions are made and products are competing. You got to ask if you really enjoy the battle, if you want to be out there in marketing or in sales.
I need to have a talking brochure sit across the table to tell me about products when I could use technology of the internet to find out all I know much more easily.
Chief marketing officers. Well, I believe that we first thought that marketing is going to be handled as an adjunct to a sales department to help the salespeople get orders, so that the salespeople wouldn't have to do their own marketing research, wouldn't have to do their own search for leads, wouldn't have to write ads.
But today, sales and marketing usually talk different languages. They believe different things are important. They're often in conflict. And the CEO says, well, when I talk to my chief marketing officer, he's telling me this or this. And when I talk to my head of sales, she's telling me something different.
Oh, it's because the marketing people charge too much that I couldn't sell the product. Or the marketing people say, the salespeople aren't listening to our value proposition and they're doing anything to get a customer.
I think agencies and marketing departments are still think they're in the army. It's still hierarchical, it's still command and control, it's still bureaucratic. It's not flat enough, it's not fast enough, it's not flexible enough.
But you can't just leave it to marketing. Marketing isn't close enough to individual customers to know. So more and more, sales and marketing have to work together to decide which opportunities are the winners.
Unless marketing and sales people start mingling more and aligning themselves more and reaching a point where neither blames the other if sales fall, which is an old fact, finger pointing.
brands became commodified. They lost confidence, they lost relevance, and they lost their premium.
I would say that any of those strong brands could stop advertising tomorrow and continue strong for a year, 2 or 3, before the lack of their presence in our mindset will start affecting them.
Marketing departments need to rethink now, not about command and control, not about directing, not about selling by yelling, but about being empathetic, engaging. Frankly, you've got to give up control now of your brands and become more empathetic with consumers. Your job in marketing is to connect the brand, the idea, with the feelings of a
Change is information. It used to be that customers didn't know what choices they had. Well, now most customers have become very sophisticated. They can find on the internet everything they need to know about products and alternatives. And so in the past they may have heard of your product and perhaps a little bit about one competitor. Today they know about every competitor.
What puzzles me is this phenomena of Facebook and MySpace and other what we call social networks. How do you capitalize on that? Because the people who are on these social networks did not want advertising. They wanted to communicate with their friends.
The moment most brands are trying to control them and are being manipulative. That's got to change because the consumer's boss, not the brand. What brands have got to learn is not to be frightened of the bloggers, not to be frightened of the community sites, but to welcome them and to listen to them and to work with them.
Of course, very few things really die in the social or economic world. They used to say, our newspaper's dead and through, is radio finished by TV, is advertising finished?
Big changes that you're seeing is a question of control. Who has control? Is it the brand? Is it the retailer? Is it the media? Or is it the consumer? My belief is now consumer's boss, and that's a huge change. I have strong belief that the further down the decision chain we can make decision making, the faster they will adapt. Because kids coming into advertising and marketing today, they are already living in this world. They're already digital, they're already virtual, they're already connected.
The practice and science of trading, the glamorous catwalk of brands, the creative industry of advertising, the black magic of promotions, or the craft and art of selling. Omnipresent 7 times over, marketing is one of those business terms that will never be too far removed from our everyday life. So, now that this show on marketing comes to an end, stop and think again on that ethereal, maybe whimsical statement that whatever you do for a living, you are doing marketing.